There is a number that most gas station owners never say out loud, because it embarrasses them. On average, they make less than 3 cents a profit for every gallon of fuel they sell. You could stand at the pump for an entire day, watch 200 cars fill up, and walk away with less money than a barista makes on a slow Tuesday. And yet, across North America and Europe, gas stations keep changing hands for 6 figures, sometimes 7, and buyers keep lining up. So here's the question that should stop you cold. If fuel barely makes any money, why is this industry still worth billions of dollars a year? And where is the real profit actually hiding? The answer to that question is the entire story of this business, and almost nobody outside the industry understands it. What looks like a fuel business from the outside is, in reality, a real estate play, a convenience store operation, and a financial trading desk, all wearing the disguise of a gas station. Let's start with the illusion, because the illusion is what pulls people in. Someone drives past a busy corner location, sees a constant stream of cars pulling in and out, sees the price sign lit up, and does quick mental math. If a station sells 4,000 gallons a day and profit per gallon is even 10 cents, that is $400 a day, almost $12,000 a month just from fuel. It sounds simple. It sounds almost lazy, like printing money by standing next to a road. That math is wrong in ways that will surprise most people, and understanding why it's wrong is the first real lesson in this business. Fuel margins in the United States typically run between 2 and 15 cents per gallon, and that number swings constantly based on wholesale price changes that happen sometimes twice a day. In the United Kingdom and much of Europe, where fuel duty and VAT eat an enormous share of the pump price, retailer margins are often even thinner, sometimes under 5 pence per liter. The station owner does not set the world price of oil. They are a middleman squeezed between a wholesale fuel supplier who changes prices based on global crude markets, and a customer who will drive to the next block to save 2 cents a gallon. Fuel, in other words, is not the product. Fuel is the traffic generator. It is the reason a car stops at your property in the first place. What happens after the car stops is where the entire business lives or dies. This is the first hidden truth of gas station economics. The pumps exist to get the customer to open the door of the convenience store. Industry data from the National Association of Convenience Stores has shown for years that inside sales, meaning cigarettes, drinks, snacks, coffee, lottery tickets, and prepared food, generate gross margins between 30 and 50%, compared to fuel's low single digits. A fountain drink that costs the owner 20 cents in syrup and cup can sell for $2.50. A cup of coffee brewed for under 30 cents can sell for $2. Cigarettes, despite razor-thin margins on the pack itself, drive enormous foot traffic and are often paired with impulse purchases at the register. In a well-run store, the inside sales counter can generate more total profit dollars in a day than every single pump combined, even though fuel sales in raw revenue dwarf the store by a factor of 5 or 6 to 1. This is the paradox at the heart of the business. Fuel is where the money moves. The store is where the money stays. Now let's talk about where this business actually begins, because ownership structure matters enormously, and most outsiders don't realize there are several completely different ways to own a gas station, each with a different risk profile. The first path is owning the real estate and operating independently, sometimes under an unbranded or lightly branded fuel supply agreement. This gives maximum control and maximum upside, but requires the most capital, typically anywhere from $800,000 to $2.5 million in the United States, depending on location, lot size, and whether the property includes an attached convenience store or quick service restaurant. Land in a strong traffic corridor, particularly near a highway exit or a busy urban intersection, can itself be worth more than the entire business operation, which is why so many gas station transactions are quietly real estate transactions wearing a fuel business as a costume. The second path is franchising with a major fuel brand such as Shell, Exxon, BP, Chevron, or in the UK, brands operating under BP or ESSO licensing agreements. Branding brings instant customer trust and access to co-branded convenience concepts, but it comes with franchise fees, minimum volume commitments, strict signage and appearance standards, and royalty payments that can run between 2 and 6% of fuel and merchandise sales. Buying into an existing branded station can range from $300,000 for a small rural location to well over $3 million for a high-volume urban site with an attached quick-service restaurant like Subway or Dunkin'. The third path, and the one many first-time owners underestimate, is leasing the location and the fuel supply agreement from a distributor, sometimes called a jobber, who owns the real estate and effectively subleases the operating rights. This dramatically lowers the entry cost, sometimes to under $100,000 in working capital, but it also caps the upside, because a share of fuel margin and sometimes a fixed rent goes straight to the property owner regardless of how well the station performs. Startup costs, when building a station completely from scratch rather than buying an existing one, are where the real financial risk concentrates. Environmental compliance alone can consume a shocking share of the budget. Underground storage tanks, required leak detection systems, vapor recovery equipment, and soil testing before and after construction are mandated by environmental protection regulations in the US and by equivalent Environment Agency standards in the UK. A single set of new double-walled fiberglass tanks, properly installed with monitoring systems, can cost between $200,000 and $400,000. And that is what makes owning a gas station so different from simply running a retail business. You are not just buying pumps, fuel, and a convenience store. You are buying an operating system built around location, traffic, fuel volume, margins, contracts, and the customers who return every day. The real opportunity is not in how much fuel you sell, but in how efficiently you turn every customer, every square foot, and every transaction into profit. A gas station can be a capital-heavy and complicated business, but when the numbers work, the location is right, and the operation is managed properly, it can become a powerful long-term cash flow business. And ultimately, that is the real economy of owning a gas station. You are not simply selling fuel. You are owning a small piece of the daily infrastructure that keeps an entire community moving.